I used to go through these phases where I would obsess over trying to get in the best shape possible, trying to get absolutely jacked. I would make everything perfect, everything down to the T, so it was absolutely perfect. What I noticed was absolutely nothing. When I looked in the mirror, nothing had changed. Ever since I've stopped really caring about how my physique looks, I've started to get in insane shape. Let me show you how that works. First of all, change is going to take time. If you're trying to change how you look, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. I don't care if you had the absolute most perfect day possible. Every single thing was just absolutely perfect. If it's just a day, nothing is really going to happen. This takes a long time. And the issue is, we get this little surge and burst of motivation where we go, okay, I want to get in great shape. And then you have to realize that, oh damn, I can't just do this overnight. So if you're trying to be perfect, if you're trying to do all of these things to make it as perfect as physically possible, you're not really going to see any changes overnight. And the big issue is when we watch people on YouTube or on anywhere online really, we notice that they make these crazy transformations. First of all, they're doing this over quite a long period of time, but just because you're watching a 10-minute video and then another 10-minute video a month apart and seeing a huge change, you think that transformation had just happened in 10 minutes. On top of the fact that a large percentage, most of the people in this fitness industry are taking steroids. So if you're someone who's not taking steroids, then it's going to be significantly less likely that you're going to make a transformation at the same rate of progress as these people. So because of everything that you're seeing online and because of the surge of motivation you have, you think you're going to make these massive changes in a few days or a few weeks, and you go all out and you see absolutely no progress at all. The truth is, it is going to take time. If you want to change how you look, it is going to take some time for you to see significant changes in the mirror. But what happens if you become impatient? If you think, I need to change really quickly, I need to change overnight, I have to look like that person online, is that you're going to start making really bad decisions. And this is what I noticed. I would get really impatient, the scale wasn't moving, I wasn't seeing physical changes in the mirror, so I would do a bunch of things that were incredibly impatient and they were actually detrimental to my progress. A big example here was bulking. I thought, well, I'm trying to build as much muscle as possible, and if the scale isn't increasing every single day, then I'm not building muscle. So I have to eat big to get big. And then you eat a whole bunch of food, and all that happens is you get fat, you screw up your hormones, you look terrible, everything sucks. Next one is changing your training plan. If you have a training plan that you're currently using, you're trying to progressive overload, you're focusing on this plan, and then you think, oh, well, I'm not changing as fast as I would like to. I need to change this, and I need to change this, and I need to change this. And you're just changing all of these variables. You're making it very hard for you to actually make consistent and stable progress. And the other thing that will happen is, let's say you were training 3 or 4 days a week. You go, well, I need to make this crazy transformation really quickly. So then you start increasing your training volume. You start training every day of the week. You start training 2 times every single day. And what happens? Well, your body goes, well, you can't train this much. This is actually not optimal for you to build muscle. So at the end of the day, it's actually going to be detrimental for you to get the physique that you desire. All of these problems, the bulking, changing up your training program, overtraining, all of this comes from the fact that you're impatient. You're trying to be perfect. You're trying to make progress way quicker than is actually physically possible. And as a result, you make progress slower than you would have otherwise. Real quick, if you would like to reach peak performance, I've left no stone unturned to give you everything that you could possibly need, including an entire course on how to get your dream physique. If that is at all interesting to you, I'll leave a link in the description below. There's one word that you need to understand. This needs to be in the back of your head at all times, whether it comes to getting in shape, whether it comes to anything in your life really, and that word is consistency. Consistency is what's going to matter. Consistency is going to beat perfection every single day of the week. If you have the perfect, the number one absolute best diet, best nutrition, best training, best sleep program, best absolutely everything, but you can only follow it for a week or a month, you're not going to see massive progress, massive change. If you had a program that was 80% as good, let's say you were sleeping 80% as good, your diet was 80% as good, your training was 80% as good, but you could do that for years on end, you could maintain that routine, that is going to blow out the perfect routine that you can stick to for tops a month, every single day of the week. Because this progress takes quite a while, but the actual perfection side of things is not going to make a very big difference. The big variable here is consistency. How long can you actually stick with something? That's why the best diet is the diet you can stick to. The best training plan is the training plan you can stick to. Everything is about what can you actually do for the long haul, because perfection is only going to screw you up. This is where I made a huge amount of my mistakes. Not only was I trying to perfect, but I was incredibly impatient, and it just was a whirlwind of disaster that is not helpful at all for you to try and get in the kind of shape that you want to actually get in. When we're going for these perfect, optimized routines, optimized everything, this usually comes from a place of motivation where we feel really motivated. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get incredible shape this year. This usually happens January the 1st, New Year's. You start off and you're like, I'm going to get in great shape. And what happens is you go all out, you go absolutely perfect because you have this huge surge of motivation. And then when the motivation starts to fizzle away, you have nothing left. You don't have the fuel to actually maintain this perfect routine. And then you start to suffer. Then your consistency goes down, and then you start to not make the progress you want to see. Big thing here is that you're relying on motivation. In my opinion, motivation is one of, if not the worst thing that you can possibly rely on. Motivation is an emotion. Most emotions we cannot control whatsoever. If you're relying on an emotion to get an outcome that you want to achieve in your life, you're basically putting outcomes down to luck. And the fact is, you're not always going to feel motivated, which means it's guaranteed that you will not always be able to stick to your program if you rely on motivation. Rather than relying on motivation, we need to enter a state of autopilot. This is where you've incorporated certain things into your life where you don't have to make decisions, you don't have to think about it. It's just the way you operate, and it automatically moves you towards getting in the kind of shape you want to get in. This is just making small little changes in your lifestyle, small little tweaks, so that you can basically live a very similar life to how you're currently living, except this lifestyle, this new lifestyle with small little changes is actually helping you move towards your goals. Small little things like making sure you're getting enough protein in. Maybe you're tracking your calories. Maybe you're ensuring that you're just getting 3 or 4 high quality training sessions per week. Whatever this is, incorporating into your lifestyle so you're not thinking about it. It's just autopilot. You just do it. Means your autopilot is moving you towards getting in the shape you want to get in, rather than all of this decision fatigue of thinking, I need to eat this perfectly, I need to train this way specifically all the time, and relying on this emotion of motivation to get anything done. This is a recipe for disaster. This is how you don't stick to something. This is how you fall off and you fail and you don't get in the kind of shape you want to get in. If you just create simple routines that you can actually stick to, that you can do for the long haul, and you're consistent with it, this is how you get in the best shape possible. This is why when I stopped focusing and obsessing over getting in great shape, and I just thought, how can I do a few things, incorporate this into my lifestyle so that I just automatically get in great shape. This is how you get in fantastic shape, because it's not going to happen overnight. You shouldn't take steroids. Even if you do, you're still going to have to do a whole lot of training to get there, and it's going to take a lot of time. So find a way to incorporate some things into your life so that you're doing this on autopilot. You're not constantly thinking and obsessing over how you're looking. It's just part of your life, moving you towards the physique that you want to get in. That is the end of the video. If you maybe learned something new, if you got some value out of it, then like and subscribe. There's probably a video somewhere around here that you might be interested in, so I will see you in one of those.